Welcome back to Newsbeat. More details are coming out about the last seconds of Flight 3407, and they're terrifying.
Investigators studied the flight data and voice recorders over the weekend. The devices logged the plane's erratic, violent movements and the pilot's actions just before Thursday night's crash near Buffalo, New York. Alan Chernoff has the latest.
A major focus of the investigation right now, how severe was the icing on Thursday night just outside of the Buffalo airport? And also, should the pilots have kept the plane on autopilot? Bombardier, the manufacturer of the Q400, actually recommends that pilots use the autopilot even in icy conditions unless the icy conditions are severe. And the indications we have thus far is that the icy conditions that night were actually not severe. Now, we also do know quite a bit about the final seconds of this flight, and they are just absolutely horrifying. What the pilots did was they extended the wing flaps, as all pilots do. That is designed to give the plane a little lift as it slows down to approach for the landing. But when the wing flaps were extended, something went terribly wrong. All of a sudden, the nose popped up 31 degrees and then slammed down by 45 degrees. Just imagine that. Up, then down. And the roll of the plane must have been horrifying. To the left, the plane rolled 46 degrees, and then all of a sudden to the right by 105 degrees. That's beyond vertical. Inside of the cabin, the passengers were pushed down by double the normal force of gravity. And the plane literally fell out of the sky, falling 800 feet in only 5 seconds. The final seconds must have been just simply terrifying. Alan Chernoff, CNN, Buffalo, New York.
Memorial services for those killed in the crash were held on Monday.
After last month's Hudson River crash, birds are flying into the headlines when it comes to air travel. This United Airlines plane had to stay on the ground after hitting a flock of birds just before takeoff Monday afternoon. United says the aircraft was going nearly 140 miles per hour down the runway in California when it hit what they believe were seagulls. The pilot then turned the plane around and returned to the gate, and no one was injured. Aviation officials say it's not uncommon for planes to hit birds, but the events have gotten more attention after a plane crashed into the Hudson River last month.
Keeping our eyes towards the skies, one news photographer in Austin was filming a foot race and caught a fireball all on tape. Witnesses say they saw a fiery object falling from the sky and heard sonic booms in the area. Federal officials suspect the mysterious object was debris from 2 satellites that crashed in space last week.
It had a metal surface, kind of, maybe aluminum of some sort, so it was shining every few times it was turning.
NASA says the collision was the first of its kind to happen in space. No injuries were reported. Scientists are still investigating the fiery incident. We're joined now by Alexandra Cranford here with weather. It looks like we're going to have a rainy Wednesday.
We might see some rain tomorrow afternoon, but things are looking good for the Mardi Gras weekend. I'll tell you more coming up next on Newsbeat. Welcome back to Newsbeat. I'm Alexandra Cranford. Well, we got some rain this weekend and we got off to a cool start this morning. Temperatures were in the low 40s. As you can see, Jackson is still staying pretty cool over there, but here in southern Louisiana, temperatures are climbing into the low 60s. In Baton Rouge, we got all the way up into the upper 60s by this afternoon this morning. We were down in the lower 40s. We have a southeast wind and we saw some overcast skies most of the day. Now we're starting to see some sun peek out and there's a 20% chance for afternoon showers. Tonight that temperature is going to plummet back into the mid 50s and we're going to keep that 20% chance of rain for the nighttime hours. A slight warm front is going to come at us from the Gulf, keeping that chance of rain there. Tomorrow a cold front will quickly slide through the region, but and probably won't bring any rain in the morning hours. However, that chance of rain will increase through the day, and by late afternoon, we may see some showers and a few thunderstorms cropping up in our area. So tomorrow, we may get some moisture, but things are looking pretty dry for the rest of the week. Let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Skies will clear on Thursday, so expect cold and dry air to last through Friday. Morning temperatures will start out in the 30s, and highs for the Mardi Gras weekend look like they'll climb into the lower 60s. Also, we'll see sunny skies starting on Friday and lasting through the weekend. Now, Lundi Gras and Mardi Gras are still way out there, but it looks like they'll be pretty parade-friendly days with partly cloudy skies and highs in the mid to upper 60s. And that's your weather for today. Here's Hobie with sports.
Thanks, Alex. Coming up in sports, the softball team hosted the Easton Tiger Classic. How did they play? We'll tell you coming up. And the women's basketball team packed the PMAC for a good cause. All that's next. You're watching Newsbeat. Welcome back to Newsbeat, everybody. Well, breaking news out of New Orleans for you Saints fans. Deuce McAllister, who has been with the Saints his entire career, was cut by the team earlier today. Deuce was expected to take a drop in salary or be released from the team to make more room on the team's salary cap, which is the money a team is allowed for its players. In his 8 seasons in New Orleans, McAllister rushed for 6,096 yards, becoming the Saints' all-time rushing leader. Also out of New Orleans, the Hornets trade center Tyson Chandler to the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Hornets traded away their best inside defender for the Thunder's Joe Smith and Chris Wilcox. The Hornets will also receive the draft rights to Devin Harden, who was selected 50th overall by the Thunder in last year's draft. Well, moving on to LSU now. Sunday in the PMAC, 2 seemingly insurmountable tasks were placed upon the table, and both were accomplished by the LSU women's basketball team. First, the Lady Tigers demolished the 9th-ranked Florida Lady Gators 66-47, and secondly, in front of a packed house of pink shirts, all supporting breast cancer awareness during the Pack the PMAC event. Junior Allison Hightower assumed the leader role Sunday, leading the team with 21 points en route to the victory. The Lady Tigers will head on to Georgia to take on the Lady Bulldogs on Thursday at 6. Well, the men's basketball team took the court against an SEC rival in the PMAC as well this weekend as they took on Ole Miss. The Rebels stormed into Baton Rouge on Saturday, but cowered back to Oxford later with a loss as they fell to the Tigers 73-66. Marcus Thornton led the team in points scored with 22. This win gives the Tigers their 9th straight SEC victory and launches the Tigers into the top 25 at number 23. Their next game is against their 4th straight SEC West opponent as they head on over to Fayetteville to take on Arkansas. And the softball team had a pretty good weekend at the Easton Tiger Classic in the beautiful new Tiger Park. The Lady Tigers went 2-2 in the tournament over the weekend, beating 5th-ranked Texas A&M twice, but losing to Ohio State in extra innings on Friday and to Sam Houston State in extras again on Sunday evening. The team will now take on Southeastern on Wednesday. Well, that does it for your sports today on Newsbeat. We now kick it over to Melissa with entertainment.
Coming up, a look at the movies that topped the box office this weekend and a peek at a new kind of entertainment coming to a city near you. This is all coming your way next, right after the break.